Chalakan. Uluru.
The second thing that we have is modifiers. So those modifiers have to take and if you fill out all of these modifiers with like quantitative, like transfer, what have you, all you need to do is then go to the item, say this one I want to apply.
Hariam Swamiji.
Okay.
Hariam Swamiji.
Hariam, somebody is talking. Who is talking? Ah, thank you. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswati Namaha, Shri Satgurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram Manojavam Marutatulia Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimata Vatatmajam Vanarayuta Mukhyam Shri Ramadutam Sirasa Namami Santoshini Jaganmata Mama Saubhagya Vruddhaye Namaskaromi Bhaktya Prasanna Varada Bhava Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Madharayanam Sutrabhashya Kridau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddha Jnanakamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwapatyadihekave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha Nilambujasyamalakomalangam Sita Samaropitadhamaham Pano Mahasayakacharuchatam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham Janmatyasya yatonvayadidaradacchaktishu vignaswarat Tene Brahmahridaya Adikavaye Mukhyanti Yatsurayah Tejo Varimudam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisha Dhamma Svena Sadadirattaguvagam Satyam Param Dhimahi Dharma Projita Kaita Putra Varamo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vidyam Vastavamatra Vastu Jivadam Tapatrayonmulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamukite Kimva Pareshwara Sadyo hrityavarutyate Shushushu vittakshanadayam Nigamakalpadaror galitam phalam Sugamukhatamritatrava samyutam Vipata bhagavatam rasamalayam Muravo rasika bhuvi bhavuka Yam pravrajandamanupetamapeta Dvaipayano virahakatarājuhāva Putreti tanmayataya taravo vineduhu Tam sarvabhutadayam munimanatosmi Yasvanubhavamagilashrutisāramegam Adhyatmadīpamatitirshataṁ tamondam Samsārinām karunayāra purānaguhyam Tam vyāsasodamupayāmi gurum tamām Nārayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam Devīm saraswatīm vyāsam tato jayamudīrayet. So in the Priyavada family, Priyavada dynasty, the last one we saw is Rishabha. So, Rishabha and Bhagavan's Parshan Avatara. So, his avatara was meant to establish the Parivrāja Dharma. So, he is considered to be one of the Tirthankaras for the Jain Munis, Jain Sampradaya. But they don't agree. But he is the one who established it. So after Rishabha, then Bharata. Bharata was the first son. We saw that he had 100 sons. After that, 9 became sannyasis, munis. So that Navayogi Prasanga will come in the 11th canto. So then afterwards, the rest of them became Brahmanas. So finally, who was the one who ruled? Bharata only. Now, Bharata Charitram is what is we have been seeing. He ruled the kingdom, what is that? 1 crore years. Okay. Those days they used long time. Looks like 1 crore time. Think about it. And after retirement, means after come to the certain age, Bharata handed over his kingdom to his son and went to the forest near Gandaki river, that is Nepal, to do tapas, pulahas, to do tapas. So this is called Vanaprastha Ashramam, Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. Vanaprastha, see, Brahmacharya Ashramam, what we do is we study the scriptures. So then Grahastha Ashramam, what we do, we practice what we learn. Karma Yoga. Then Karma Yoga and study both are extrovert. Therefore, that is not good for knowing the truth. So, Vanaprastha is mainly for Upasana. Upasana means meditation. More time spent on spiritual practices. So, for this purpose, they retire to the forest those days. You don't have to retire to the forest nowadays, not necessary. In your own house, live practicing your sadhana. What you call that? From a big bungalow reduced to an apartment. And maximum time use it for what? Sadhana. That is the idea. So here, Pulahashramam, our Bharata went. And as he was practicing seriously, this He was almost there, almost ready to get a realization. At that time, see, Bhagavan's play, test also. What was that? He happened to see, and he went to take, he was doing his Sandhyavandanam early morning. That time he saw a deer, a pregnant deer, in water opposite side. Suddenly the deer heard a roar of a lion. She was frightened, and to escape from the lion, she jumped into the river. In the river there was a small little island. She thought she will reach there, but she could not reach. In the middle of the jump, she delivered the baby. And the process, mother died. And this scene is watched by our Bharata. And the little baby fell into the water, and he felt. Now that is where we have to see now. This is the 9th verse, chapter 8. Okay. You got that? Chapter 8. Aho padayam harina kunakaha kripana ishvara ratha charana paripramana ravena swagana suhrat bandhubhyaha parivarchitaha sharanam cha mopasadito mameva mata pitaro pratrijati yautikam chalvoptaya nanyam kanchana veda mayati visvattasthata eva maya matparayanasya poshana palana prelana dalana manasunyudam Anušteyam Sharanyobeksha dosha vidusha. My God. Get this composition here. He thought, oh, alas, the swift moving action of the wheel of time has separated this poor fawn from his parents and his flock, and it has taken refuge with me as his father, mother, brother. See, look at this. Mata pitarau pradrijnati yaudiganchevopeyaya nanyam kanchana veda. Doesn't know anything. This child doesn't know anything. For him, it looks like I am the father, mother, brother, relative, and friend. Putting his trust entirely in me, he knows none else. So even the expense of my own interest, I am bound to protect, nourish, fondle, and in every way look after the interest of this calf. Knowing as I do, because if I refuse to take care of this farm, I will be neglecting my duty. Why he think that Bhagavan has given him this responsibility? Look at that. Nunam hyarya sadhava upashama Sheelaha kripana sukrta evam vidarte swarthanapi gurutaran upekshante. That's the justice. Many a worshipful person who followed the path of peace and service of the afflicted has, for the sake of such work, abandoned his own self-interest. So look at this justification. What is that? Sadhavaha upashamashilaha. Those sadhus who are naturally withdrawn from the world. Upashamashilaha. Kripana suhrat evam vidharte swarthanapi Gurutaran upekshante. So, their swartham, what is the swartham? Practicing spiritual path, etc., spiritual practices, etc., meditation, etc. They have given up. For what? For the sake of helping others. So this is justification. Iti kritanushanga asana shayana atana sthanasana adishu saha mrigajahuna snehanubaddha hridaya asid. This whole fifth canto is full of this soul. All prose order. See, so now we have finished this. Come to the slokas. The first is here. So the idea here is that he is justified. Now in this way, iti kritarushanga asana shayana atana sthana asanadishu ashanadishu saha mrigajaguna snehanubaddha hridaya asid. Now, in this way, getting infatuated with the form, he always came to be accompanied by while sitting, lying down, walking, standing, or eating. Now look at this Raja, gave up his whole kingdom and his own children and wife come to do tapas. Now what happened? He getting attached to this little farm. This is what happened to people get attached to dogs right now, right? So how much, my God, so much attachment. I remember one day he wanted to come with me to Kailas Ashram and a Kailas Yatra. She told me what to do, Swamiji, my dog. How can I leave the dog and come to Kailas? What can I say? I can't say you bring dog also with you. So this is what walking, sitting, lying, standing, eating, all the time accompanied. This deer was with him. And again, he was thinking that suppose Kusha, Kusuma, Apit Palasha Phala, Mulodaganya, Harishyamano, Vrikasala, Vrikadibhyo, Bhayam, Ashamsamano, Yada Saha, Harina, Punakena, Vanam, Samavishati. And he was afraid that this, suppose I leave him alone, that, it will be attacked by some dogs or some other animal, wild animals, wolves, all those things. And he was afraid. So always he was taking that deer with him. So when he was collecting what you call grass, flower, fuel, leaves, fruits, roots, and water all the time for puja, etc., he was taking this deer with him. And whenever this deer, always they will stop and look at there or start eating some leaves and all that. Then what happened? What he will do? He will take it on his shoulder and then carry. All these are written there. And when he was engaged in worship, that also. He was engaged in worship, this is the 14th one. Engaged in worship, kriyayam, nirvatyamanayam, antaralipithyayathama, yaya, edainam abhishishita, tarhi bhava, savarshapati, prakristena manasa, tasma ashisha, ashaste, swastistad dvasta, te sarvata iti. Even when he is engaged in worship, he would now and then get up and have a look at it. Whether this deer is safe or not. Look at this mind get attached to something. See the psychology. That he always tried to pray for that the deer that may you live safe without any danger. So may the Lord protect you. Anyatha Prisham Dignamana Nashtatravina Iva Kripana. What an example here. Suppose that this deer, it is always is not going to stay stable place. It is always very dynamic, always running around. So suddenly he finds that it's missing. Then it is here, Kripanaha, Nashtadravinaha even. Suppose a miser loses money, how he feels miserable. In the same way, he was feeling so miserable. Leaves ticket, like one who has lost his wealth. Now, owing to the intensity of his attachment to it, he felt heartbroken at its absence. Then he says that, Apibatasavai Kripana Yena Bhanako Mutta Harini Sutoho Mamataryasya Shata Kirata Barota Krita Sudasya Krita Visramba Atma Pratyena Tata Viganaya Sujana Ivagam Isha. Yes, another one. It is pitiable. This is, what a pitiable young deer, orphan of its own mother, and came back all to me, trusting me to be a good man out of its own innocence. So, shall I ever see thanks to the protecting hand of the Lord? I hope it is not eaten up by any other creature, wild dog or wolf. The height of it is. See this, the deer has got, when you walk, the hoops are there. The hoops. The mark of the hoops will be there. That is considered auspicious place for our homa, rituals, etc. Now he's telling that what austerities must this land have done? For what? Mark with the tiny and beautiful hoof prints of this young black. So that deer must have been black. For these hoof prints, beside cheering me with the prospect of tracing. So it is also helping to trace the whereabouts of the deer. But make this land a suitable holy place for the performance of all sacred rites. For those who seek heaven, all those rituals. Now, when the moon rises, you get the imagination here. So when moon rises, they see the mark of that deer there. So he imagined that, oh, this moon has taken my deer there. You get attached to something, how the fear comes. Fear of losing. That's why Bhagavan said in Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. So Raga, Bhaya, Krodha, these are three things together. Wherever Raga is there, Bhaya will be there. And that Maya it will become, itself turn into Krodha. Now, what is the result? Now, finally, 26 says, Ekam Makhatamana Manoratha Kulakdeha Mrigadara Kama Bhasena Swarabdha Karmana Yogaram Panataha Vibramchidaha Sa Yoga Tapaso Bhagavat Aradhana Lakshanancha Kadamidharatha Jatyandara Ena Punaka Asangaha Sakshan Nisresha Pratipakshadaya Parak Parityakta Dusta Cha Hridaya Vijadasya Tassaiva Mantarayam Vihata Rogam Bharanasya Rajashe Bharanasya. Okay, idea is tell you what happened. Thus distracted by this fawn, deer, he lost interest in doing meditation, puja, part, japa, all those things. Rajarshi completely strayed away from the practice of yoga, austerities, worship of the Supreme Lord, because of his prarabdha karma, he says, in the shape of the deer calf. Prarabdha came in the form of this deer. And now, in the case of one like this Rajarshi, this is Sugamarshi says, what else you can say? Only prarabdha. Because think about it. The case of one like this Rajarshi, who had abandoned even his sons, considered them to be an obstacle in the spiritual path. What other explanation can be given for this strange phenomenon of obsession with the deer calf, which did not belong even to the human species? Thus, the Rajarshi Bharata happened to slide away from the path of yoga. In the protection, feeding, fondling, etc., this fawn. And finally, the hour that is inevitable for everyone, that is death, approached him with irresistible pace, just like a serpent gliding towards a rat in its hole. So death is compared here. A serpent slowly gliding, catch. So death is like that. What a beautiful explanation. Even at the moment of death, he was looking at the deer. Oh, my dear. And thinking about this fawn, now who will look after him, what will happen to him, he was anxious. With that, he breathed his last. Because of the tapas, even though he left his body, he remembered what happened. The next one. But because he was antakalecha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Here it is what antakalecha. Dear smarana. So it was dear smarana. So dear, he became dear next life. Born as a deer in the next life. But he retained the memory of the past birth because of the tapas. Then in the deer's life, he started regretting. the 29th, Aho kashtam prashtoham atmavadam anupadadya vimuktaha samasta sangasya vivikta punyaranya sharanasya atmavataha atmani sarvesham atmanam Bhagavati Vasudeve Tadanu Sarvana Manana Sankirtana Aradhana Abhiyogana Shunya Sakalayamayana Kalena Samaveshikam Samahitam Karsyena Anastasto Punar Mamautyasya Mrga Asadu Parisutrava Susrava. What a pity that I have fallen from the ways of the spirituality. My mind was completely offered at the feet of the Lord. Not a bit of my time was wasted in any occupation other than the thought of Lord. I was quietly sitting in my solitude of my ashram. Then what happened? Alas, the fool that I was. My mind in the end went too far after that year, with the disastrous consequences that have followed. Now you can tell this story to all those people who are so much attached to the dog, cat, this or that. Tell them this story. Therefore, he was full of renunciation. So, but one thing he did was, he did not go out of the ashram, even though he was the deer form, but he did not go out of the ashram. Neither he got mingled with other deers, nothing, no more attachment to any. He stayed in the Pulastya ashram only. Then keeping himself aloof from the company of others out of fear of the consequences. Moving about alone, feeding on dry leaves, grass roots, and he waited for the prarabdha to end. Then he abandoned his body in the holy waters of the river there. Deer's life also got finished. Now what happened? Next birth. He was born to a Brahmana. Atha kasyajit dvija varasya angiraha pravarasya shama dama tapa swadhyaya adhyana tyaga santosha titiksha prashaya vidya anasuyatma jnana ananda yuktasya atma sadrisha shruta chara rupaudarya guna nava sodaryam angaya abur yunam cha yaviyasyam haryaya. Wow. So Brahmana Lakshana is given here. Okay. He was born in the Gotra of Angiras, noted for such qualities: control of the mind, Shama, Dama, Tapa, Swadhyaya, Adhyayana, Tyagaha, all of them. So Vedic study, so Samadama, control of mind and the senses, austerity, Vedic study, Vedic teaching, generosity, joyous temperament, forbearance, humility, knowledge of Vedic rituals, absence of envy, knowledge of the Atman as distinguished from the body, and bliss of Atman consciousness. And he had two wives. Out of one, Upvamstam Parama Bhagavatam Rajashi Pravaram. He said that second wife's son. The second wife, he had twins, a boy and a girl. And Bharata was reborn to this Brahmana as one of the twins. Now, even from the birth itself onwards, they found that this boy was allergic to any company. He was not interested in mingling with the other children also. He was sitting there and contemplating upon Bhagavan. Because he remembered he made one mistake. Ever remembering the experience of his past birth, through the Lord's grace, he was constantly vigilant against any obstacles. Now, father, being a Brahmana boy, he wanted to make him a good Brahmana. So he wanted to put him through all preparatory disciplines and thread ceremony, etc. And Brahmopadesham and Upadayana performed and tried to teach him all those rituals, Sandhyavandanam, etc. Finally, he tried to teach him Gayatri, it seems. Gayatri Mantra, the father first instructed him with the Gayatri Mantra combined with the Vyahritis and the Pranava. But even after 4 months teaching, the boy could not recite them with proper intonation. He deliberately, not that he didn't know, he didn't want to do it. But father had deep affection for his son. So he thought that it was his duty to teach his son. So keep on insisting. But he tried his best to do so, but failed. So years passed by with the father unaware of its passage on account of his engrossment in household affairs. So he passed away finally. So what happened? On the death of his father, the second wife, she entrusted the son to the first wife children. First wife, and she also died along with her husband. Herself accompanied her husband in death. Now, after the father's death, the brothers who had only the theoretical knowledge of the Vedas but no spiritual understanding, they thought that it is useless to educate a person, a dull person like Bharata. They call him Cheda Bharata. What happened? They started giving him all mean jobs. But Bharata never complained. Whatever job was given to him, sometime washing, cleaning, or hard physical work, whatever that was given to him, he used to do it. And whatever people gave to eat him, he ate that. And all the time he is reveling in Brahman. But these people did not know that. They thought that he is a dull-witted person, a dumb guy, useless person. Whether it is suffering or honor or dishonor, never attributed by him to the Atman, so it never affected him. Heat and cold, rain or wind, moved about like an ox, without anything to protect his body. He used to lie down on the bare ground, but his body was well built, muscular, healthy, but through which his Brahmic lustre was very visible, like a luminosity of an unpolished gem, wearing a dirty cloth. His, Janoi, Yoga Vedam was dirty. Himself was dirty, never washed. He moved about here and there. Now at home, what happens? Interesting things. His he had brothers to the other wife. There were 8 of them. They also married and all that. So he will sit at home quietly doing nothing. So the wife will say, we put this milk on the stove, just watch. So Varda will watch. And it will boil and spill. And they will come, hey, I asked you to watch. You asked me to watch, I watch. That's all. This is the time. See. Then finally, what happened? He was sent to the field, the paddy field. Paddy field, what happened? The birds come and take. So they kept it there, so to drive away the birds. But he was watching them coming and eating, enjoying it. So Bhagwan, the form of the bird coming and eating. So that's what happened to Tukaram also. Tukaram story also is there. And then one day it so happened what? A chieftain of a tribe, this Kapalika's chief came. They were looking for a old person to sacrifice, Arabali. They were looking for a man. So they found our Jadavarada. And they looked at him, he's fit, very healthy, perfect. There is no defect, nothing. So they took him, Ajao. And while they were taking him, they were talking, conversing each other. Today, chieftain will be very happy because we got the right person for sacrifice. And Parada is listening to us. Because Sarvabhuta Supadaha, 27th, sorry, 17th. 17th. Yeah, I'm describing the type of worship. So it is those people who are low-born, tamasic type of people, they forget worship of Bhagavan Vishnu. What they do is they worship Devi or Bhadragali, that also giving, offering human being as sacrifice. So they took him there and the chieftain was very happy and gave him a nice bath. He has not taken bath for so long. He was very happy. And he was given a new dress, etc. And his Yajnamovidam also was cleaned out. So everything, given good food, he enjoyed it very nicely. They tied him to the stupa, sacrificial stupa. And before doing that, they do this, the dance. And go to Tandava Nrittam. This was going on, and Artha was uncared, enjoying it. And when they were about to cut his head, what happened was this Devi saw the Brahmavarchas, the Tejas in Bharata, and she understood he's a Brahmajnani. How can I accept his sacrifice? She appeared there and taking that sword from that man's hand, cut off everybody's head. And Shirak Kantukalilaya, 18th one said. Shirak Kantukalilaya. So all their head they cut and played with the head Kantukalilaya. Soccer game. And what happened? Bharata looked at, oh, now I am released. Start walking. But did not even thank her also. See. Thank you for releasing me. Nothing like that. Just walked off. That's all. Now comes a beautiful story. Now there was a king. So this Bharata was walking. He didn't know where he's going. He just walked. That's all. So during this time, there was a king, Rahuguna. Rahugunasya atha Sindhu Sauvirapate Rahuganasya Prajataha Ikshubhatyastade Tat Kulapatina Shipikavaha Purushanveshana Samaye Daive Nopasitataha Sa Dvijavaraha Upalabdha Esha Piva Yuva Samhananango Gokharavat Turam Udum Alamiti Purvavishti Grihide Saha Grihitaha Prasabha Masadarha Uvaha Shivikamsa Mahanubhava. Now Rahukuna, the king, was Sindhu Desha. He was traveling in a palanquin to Kapila Muni's ashram to get Upadesha from him. Atmajnanam from Kapila Muni. Now what happened during the time the palanquin, king was going in a palanquin. The palanquin bearer, there are 4 of them. One of them got sick. Now the captain of the, the soldiers, they were looking for a palanquin bearer, a 4th one. And they found this Bharata. There's a hatta katta. Hey, aja. So he started, Bharata said, okay, here is no problem. But only one problem was, while walking, Bharata, what happens is, now think about it, imagine, this Taruguna is sitting in the palanquin, and these 4 bearers, they are carrying him, and one of them is Bharata. And Bharata, while walking, he makes sure that he doesn't step on ants or insects or. So what he will do, he holding his palanquin, he jump like this. Now think of the condition of the king sitting there. The king got so angry. He that the newly recruited bearer was found walking slow, surveying the path up to 3 feet, carefully in order to avoid trampling over living creatures. The pace of the palanquin therefore began to vary. King Raguna, who was inside the palanquin, got angry with his unsteady movement. Oh, he said, oh, bearers, walk properly. All of you move in equal speed. Why are you not bearing the vehicle in the correct way? By hearing the master's words, all others said, oh, we are not careless, sir. Obedient to your order. We are carrying the palanquin the proper way. But this new bearer, the newcomer, though he has only just now joined the team, he is not walking fast enough. It is impossible to carry the palanquin with him. The defect of one in a company is likely to affect the work of all who have to work with him. This is the team, One person is bad in the team, it will affect the whole team. Now King Raguna, he got angry. He started saying, oh brother, you are very tired, aren't you? It's all, fun.
Yes.
Yeah. For you have indeed been bearing the palanquin single-handed for such a long distance. Moreover, you are not so well built and strong also. Actually, it is the other way around. Besides, it seems you are also very old. You are young. But all your fellow bearers are not like that. Though ridiculed in this way, Bharata did not answer. Didn't bother. He continued to do the same thing. Because in the last birth itself, that is deer's life itself, because of his memory of the past life mistake, he had become one with Brahman. Nothing affected him. Finding that the palanquin was still irregular, Raguna became extremely angry. He said, you are like a Jivachava, living corpse. Are you disobeying me? Your master, violating my command? You know what will happen to you? I can punish you. With what? Like Yama gives to heedless people, I shall give you the, the highest punishment, that is death, which will definitely make you feel better. Thus, the king, out of pride, born of his royal status and learning, spoken many such stupid things to that holy man without understanding to whom he is speaking. Not in the least perturbed by all that, That Brahmana, Bharata, smilingly said to the king, now this is very important, Brahmana Vacha. Nine. This is verses easy. Tuyoditam viktam avipladaptam Vartusamesyatyati viraharaha Ganduryati syat adigamya matva Vivedikashau naditam pravadaha. Now so far, Bharata never spoke. From childhood onward, he never spoke to anybody. Now think about it, he broke his silence. Some of the commentators write, like Sridhara Swami writes, why? This Raghuguna was none other than the deer. So Raja became Brahmana. The deer, because of the association of such a great person, the deer died and became king. Oh. Now, because of the old attachment, still worked. So, this Bharata broke his silence. He decided to teach it. See the connection? Now, Bharata says, the yoditam vyaktam avipralabdham. Your ridiculous relevance, provided there is a thing called weight for one to bear. Provided there is a destination for the traveler to reach. Tuhu same syat yadi vira ara ganduryadi syat adigamya madhva piveti rasho navidam pravadaha. Provided there is a destination for the traveler to reach, and provided there is a weight for the jiva to be carried. Wise men, however, do not assent to such a proposition, as weight, body, distance are all effects of Maya, therefore false. And as I am the spirit and not the body, your words of ridicule become pointless to me. Stauryam karshyam vyadaya adayascha Shatrungbhayam kalicha characha nidraritir nurahammadashujo dehena jadasya himena santi. Leanness, disease, hunger, thirst, fear, quarrel, desire, old age, sleep, attachment, anger, pride, grief, all only in regard to one born with the body. Not to me, who am Paramatma. Jivan Vrtatvam Yamena Rajan Atyandavatyati Kritasya Drishtam Sasyamya Bhavo Dhruva Tarhyuchyate sau iti kritya yoga. O king, the state of being a living corpse, you said, Jivachavaha, is not a characteristic special to me. It is not title for me. It applies to everything that is there in effect. It applies to you also. That is what he said. For everything that is subject to birth and death, to a beginning and to an end. And for the charge of violating your command, O worshipful one, it would have been true if the relation between master and servant were permanent. Why? Today you are the master, I am the servant. Tomorrow I will be the master and you will be the servant. It is not permanent. Vishesha buddhir vivaram manakcha pasyamayana vivaharapunyate kaishwarat tatra kimishadavyam tatha virajan karavama te. So, except for the worldly convention, I find no reason for the distinction between master and servant. Who is the master? Who is the servant? Still, if you feel you are the king, you order me what I have to do. Unmatta jaravatsadayam gatasya me veera chikitsitena arthakriyan vata chikshitena taptha pramattasya cha pishtapesha. Beautiful use. Pishtapesha. Says, O brave king, if my behavior as a madcap is the result of my establishment in my nature as the Paramatma, what change can your punishment effect in me? I am dwelling in Paramatma. If you punish me, what? I am nothing. But according to you, if you are a mad person, your attempt at reforming me by punishment will be like powdering a powdered stuff once again, like a pishtapesha, something that is already ground. Again try to ground. So if you think that I am a madman, you try to punish me, what is the use? Now Sri Shubhavacha. You cannot teach a unmatta, a mad guy. Now this commentator gives a very nice explanation to it. It seems what he meant was, Bharata meant was, you say you are my master, I am your servant. Think about it. Now you are sitting on the palanquin. The palanquin is made of bamboo. That bamboo has come from where? Earth. And you are also made of what? Panchabhutas. I am also made of what? Panchabhutas. And this Panchabhutas means made of clay. Our body is made of clay, refined clay. Like our, what is that? China ware, refined clay. Body is made of refined clay. And this one clay is carrying another clay. What is the difference? You say you are master, I am servant. But in reality, what is that? They are both same, isn't it? So this is what he meant. So one who abides in oneself, you cannot teach it. What is the use of grinding flour again? Sometimes, you never know who is listening, who is in the audience. So one Panditji was he was teaching Advaita Siddhi. There was one Mahatma was sitting there. He was not looking like a great person or anything, wearing poor clothes, etc. Quietly sitting and listening. And one portion this Panditji came, he was not able to decipher the meaning. And that Mahatma said, Panditji, you read it this way, you will get the meaning. He got up from there to prostrate to him. Now he disappeared from there. My stay in Amatsar come to an end, he said. Walked away. So sometimes you don't know whom you are talking to. So he Raja also didn't realize it. The moment he heard this, what happened? Edavat anuvada paribhashaya pratyudirya purivara upashamashila uparatar atma nimitta upabhogena karmarabdam vipanayanna rajayanamapi tathovaha. Having thus made a non-controversial reply, he kept quiet. He didn't say anything afterwards. He continued to carry the palanquin. Then what happened to Rahuguna? Rahuguna gave up his pride because he never heard a palanquin bearer speaking like this. He gave up his pride of being the king, hurriedly jumped from the palanquin, came down, prostrated himself before the great one and said, Kastam Rigudacharasidvijanam Vibharshi Sutram Katamo Kasyasi Kutradya Ihabhikasmat Evaya Who are you traveling incognito in the fog? Among the famous ascetics like Dattatreya and others, who could you possibly be? You bear the holy thread indicating that you are a Brahmana. Whose son are you? Which is your place? How do you happen to be here? Am I to understand that you are Mahavishnu's incarnation, Kapila Muni himself? Come here to bless me. He said, Naham Vishange Surarajavajran Natrakshashulan Nayamasya Dandad Nagnarkasho Somaniraviktapatra Chanke Prisham Makula Vamanad. I fear not. Suraraja Vajraha. the thunderbolt of Indra, nor the trident of Rudra, Drakshashulaha, na, Yamasya Dandad, nor the rod of Yama, nor the weapon of any other divinity like Agni, Surya, Chandra, Vayu, Kubera, but Brahma Kulavamana, terribly afraid of the consequence of insulting an illumined personage belonging to a great and holy family. Brahmana Shapa, that I cannot take it. That Ruhyasango Jadavanni Godam Vijnana Viryo Janasya Para Vachamsi Yoga Nanakshamante Manasavite. Therefore, please tell me all about yourself. I feel that you are really one possessed of unfathomable knowledge, hiding your spiritual and going about incognito. For your words convey the meaning of Yoga Shastras are too profound for our mind to grasp. Aham cha yogeshwaramatma tattva vidamunina paramam gurum vai prashtam pravritta kimiharanam tat sakshat harim jnana kalavatirnam. I am myself on my way to Muni Kapila, the incarnation of Mahavishnu, the teacher of all wise men and an embodiment of yoga, to learn from him what constitutes the refuge for man in this samsara. Savaibhavam loka nirikshanatham avyaktalingo vicharatya vispit Yogeshwaranam gatimanda buddhihi katam vidakshina grihanubantaha. It may be that you are that very Kapila, going about incognito. How can a person tied to the household and without any spiritual enlightenment understand the ways of the yogins like you? I gave an example here, 22nd, 21st. So I told you that, you are exhausted carrying the palanquin and you are not famished or anything, you are a thief. So I made fun of you. So he gives justification. Look at this. Other foolishness. 22nd verse. Tandula Garbarandi Dehendriya Swasasanigarshad Tat Samsudir Purushasyanurodhad. In cooking, the heat applied to the pot penetrate to the water in it that heat affects not only the surface of the rice, but the very core of the grain. Same way, owing to their mutual contact, the experience of the body pass on to the inner layers of senses, prana, mind, and finally to the Atman. So, the experience of samsara by the Atman has to be accepted as real. So, yeah, understood what his argument is. Example is that you put rice in the pot and how the heat penetrates and get affected to the rice finally. The same way, you use the body to deal with samsara and slowly, slowly it get affected to the mind, then to the body, intellect, then to the ego, then to Paramatma. That's why I said this. Again, so you can't keep quiet. Shastabhiyukta Srita Prajana Yakkingaro Vainapi Nishtamishtam Swarmama Aradhanamachudasya Yadihamano Vichatyakau. See, this is our tendency. When a Atma is there, we may make some foolish statement, and then what happens? You try to justify your statement. That's another. At least accept it was a foolish statement. Is it? No. Why I said that? He says, in answer to the criticism of the master and servant relationship, now I tell you this. Though the master and servant relationship is temporal, when a man becomes a king, he comes to the ruler. He becomes the ruler and protector of others. If one accepts the idea that in discharging his duties, a ruler is only carrying out the will of God. The objection of pounding the already pounded, he said, does not arise. That doesn't arise here. Because the king's duty is to correct the wrong. Ah. So he justifies what? Whoever perform his sudharma, he is free from all sins. Sudharme nidhanam seya paradharma bhayavaha. As a king, what I am doing, punishment is what? I am not doing because of I want to do it. It is my sudharma. As a king, my duty is to punish the wrong person. So, I am justified. Look at this. Tanme bhavan naradevabhimanam madena tucchi kritasattamasya Krishna Maitri Deshamartabandho Yadhadane Sadavatyanamanha. Earlier this king said, you are Abhilamuni himself incognito. You are Mahavishnu's avatara or you are that Dattatreya Maharaj. All that thing he said and then he justified. Look at this. This is human mind. It's a beautiful psychology. Now he says, regarding my offense of slighting a great man, I seek pardon of you. Out of your goodwill, please teach me so that I will not incur sin. Navikriya vishya suhrutsakasya samvena vita abhimades tavapi Mahat Vimanat Sakrutat Vimadrik Angshatya Duradapi Sudapani. It may be said that you are not affected or perturbed by adoration or insult, as you are established in that Paramatma. Therefore, you are not identified with the body, but still an offender like me. Even if he were as powerful as Sri Parameshwara, he is bound to perish in consequence. Since I have offended you, I know the consequences. Please save me. Now, in reply, there is a teaching. Bharata's teaching. So far, he never opened his mouth. Now, look at this. He thought of teaching this Rahuguna. Brahmana Vacha. Akovida Kovidavadavadan Vadasyato Nadividam Varishtaha Nasurayo hi Vivaharabenam Tatvavamarshena Sahamananti Ashocyananyasocastum Prajnavadam Chabhasase. Is that Akovida Kovidavadavada? So his answer first thing is though you are in spiritual ignorance. Means what? You are a fool. That's the idea. But speaking like what? A pandita. You try to speak like a man of unfailing knowledge. Akovita Kovidavadavada. Talking like a wise man. Which, however, you are not. Idea is, you are neither wise nor smart person. The idea. Why? Because Nasurayo hi Vivaharamenam Satvavamarshena Sahamananti. Don't mix Vivahara with the truth. This is a very beautiful statement, okay? Vivaharamenam Tatvavamarshena Sahamananti. See, there is an argument in Ashkarma Siddhi. There is a Purvaksha. Says that you are saying Tattvamasi, Mahavakya, you are that Paramatma. But after listening to that, I still feel miserable. I heard this Tattvamasi Mahavakya many times, but still I feel miserable. Yes, if I am that Paramatma, I should be Ananda Swarupa. But here what is that? I am miserable. Therefore, Tattvamasi Mahavakya listening is one thing, but afterwards you have to meditate upon that. Then a special knowledge will rise out of that meditation. That alone will give you moksha. Yeah, there is an argument. There, Sureshwaracharya says, the person who is suffering is a samsari. We are not talking about that person. The meaning of I is not jiva. So you understand Tattvamasi as jiva. this Jiva is Paramatma. If you understand, then what happened? You feel miserable. No doubt about it. But that Jiva is not what meant by Shastra. It is Paramatma. Jiva is Paramatma. So, this is what he has said here. See, the beautiful. Don't mix Vyavahara with truth. Very beautiful statement. Okay. So a person who has not understood the falsity of this world, for him there is no moksha. Tadeva rajan udugarkamedam vidara vidyoru vijrambideshu naveda vadeshu hi tattvavadaha prayena shuddhoru jakasti sadhuhu. So the idea is what? For a person who has not understood not only the world and its relation, but even the Vedic teaching dealing with karma belong to the realm of mithya. This is too strong, right? Actually, Higher Vedanta talks about what? There is an argument in Nashkapa Siddhi. If you say a mithya teaching, see, Shastra teaching is coming under mithya. Say, Guru Shishya Samvada is also coming under what? Mithya. How can a mithya teaching will give you satyam, satyavastu, knowledge of satyam? How can a mithya teaching give you knowledge of satyam? It's a big argument there. Now for that, Sri gives wonderful answer. I will tell you next time. That is what here is Vedavada says. Even Karma Kanda is all, even though it is Veda, but it is coming under Mithya. Falsity should be understood. Now, what is Mithya? That also you should understand. Mithya doesn't mean it is non-existence. Mithya doesn't mean it is existence also. It is in between. There is a utility value. Mithya means what? It is useful. But useful doesn't mean it is real. Okay, all right, we'll see next slide. So, it's not just it's not a story. Bhagavatam has got a lot of good teaching, okay? So don't think that this is not a Vedanta class, Swamiji. So much was written by Vyasacharya, who has written Brahma Sutra. So how can it be different? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Swamiji,
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji.